Hi guys, welcome to DevXP. My name is Seth Samuel, and we'll continue our discussion that we started on the previous video, which is the part 1 of this video. If you have not watched it, I'll be leaving a link to the video in the description, and we'll be leaving a pop-up here where you could just go ahead and then watch the video and get an idea of where we are coming from. But in this particular video, which is the part 2, we're going to be focusing on one aspect of how to move your career forward and how to even get better jobs and better gigs. And that aspect is networking. So by networking, I mean knowing the right people in the right places at the right time. Usually when you hear people talking about networking, they usually mistake networking with the idea of knowing people. So you see people trying to know as many people as possible, but that's not efficient, because I can know 1 million people and none of them will be able to help me in the areas that I want. So for example, I can know a lot of farmers, a lot of traders, a lot of musicians, and so on. Those kind of network, those kind of people that we are not in the same industry with them, and those kind of connections are actually very good. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you are going to move your career forward, especially like in the tech scene, you have to think more about. You have to be more strategic about the kind of people that have in your network. Now, I'm not saying that you should have people that are within the same field in tech with you, because that's a mistake that most people make. You try to get, like, someone may just know only developers, or sometimes even worse, a particular type of developer. So I know a lot of React developers, say for example, or I know a lot of Flutter developers because I'm a Flutter developer. Well, that is very good. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem with that is that the same job they are trying to get is the same job that they are also trying to get. And usually, they can mostly pass the low quality jobs to you. The high quality ones, which I am assuming is the one that you want, they will usually want to keep for themselves. So you have to know how to know the right people, and how do you get to know them? That's what this video is going to be talking about. Okay, so let's get right into it. So the best way that you can get people, like the best way that I can advise is, the first and the easiest way to get the right people that you need in your network is online. It's online, right? So join as many online platforms as possible. A great way to start is DevXP platform, because we are open and we are a large community of developers. I think across all our groups, we have more than 3,000 developers, and they are still growing. And that's a big resource for you to explore and how to meet people. And in that kind of community, although you may not be in all of the group and you may not have access to all of them, because WhatsApp only allows 1,000 people per group, and they're spread across 3 groups, right? You cannot get access to all of them, the 1,000 developers that you have are still enough for you to build a solid network. So you ask, so how do you get to build a network in that kind of group? The first way that I advise is ask questions. Be very active in the group. Ask questions and answer questions. How do I mean? And how does that help you? So first of all, ask questions. Sometimes you may say, I don't have any questions to ask, right? But for the fact that you don't have any question to ask, means that you are at the right place to even start. So I'm assuming that for the fact that you don't have any question to ask, means that you know a lot of things, right? So start asking questions that you know the answer to, right? So say for example now, you can ask, okay, I want to implement a search. Let's say for example, I want to implement full text search, right? In an app that I'm working on. Please, can anyone help me put Can anyone help me through and how to do that? How to go about that? Now, by doing that, you are filtering all the learners, right? You're filtering all the learners because most of the junior developers may not have an idea of what full text search is and not talk of how to help you. So by filtering that, you are actually narrowing your list to only mid-level to senior guys, right? And those mid-level and senior guys may want to help you, right? And they may say, okay, so usually they want to give you a answer that they can just post on the group and then get it over with. What I would advise is insist on or plead with them. Let's just say insist. Let's say plead with them to jump on a call with you and then put you through. Now, what I'm trying to do, you're trying to start a conversation with them, right? So, okay, no, definitely, it's not just like you cannot just come and say, okay, here's the link. Then you just join the link, and then next thing, hello, can you hear me? Yes. Okay, so this is how you do full text search, and then you start doing. It doesn't work like that. Usually you start with greetings. Good afternoon, how are you? How are you doing? How is work? Okay, can I get to know you? You start that kind of thing. So you start having conversations with the person. And then as you're having more conversations with the person, you're creating a connection, right? You're networking. And then in those conversations, one or two things may pop up. So as they're putting you through this, you may end up learning something new that you don't know before, or you can just end up regaining the knowledge you already had before. But the idea is that you are talking to them. So you get to know them now. They get to know you and you get to know them. So after maybe the conversation, maybe if people find a something that connects the two of you, you can just say, okay, so can I reach out to you if I have any other issue or something like that? And before you know, once in a while, you just start talking to the person. Now the person has you in his mind. Okay, so now the person knows that you know how to do full text search, and maybe he has already seen your code, because usually you want to show him your code. Okay, this is my code, so he knows that. Okay, you can actually write code. So if tomorrow something comes up, since he knows people are in similar levels and he knows something, and you are like in a similar level, right? It's easy for him to recommend you tomorrow when there is a role that he feels that he can fit into it. So when that his company is asking, okay, so we're looking for a React developer, it's easy for him to recommend you because he has seen your code. He knows that for you to know full text search or for you to know this particular concept, it means that you have a certain level of knowledge. So it's easy for him to just recommend you and say, oh, I know this guy, I know he can handle this. So it's easy for him to just recommend you, right? And the same thing with the junior guys. Don't apply that same logic. So be very active. Don't be a passive member of these platforms. Don't just say, I don't know much. Let me just, the normal Nigerian humility. I don't know anything. Let me just calm down and then let me just watch. Let me just read what's happening in the group. That is not helping you. So be very active. Now the next way to get network is through events. Now go to tech events. Go to them as much as possible. I may not advise online events because online event doesn't allow you to actually network that much, because it's usually a speaker, everybody just be on mute, and then the whole event goes on and everybody just quiet. But physical events help you know more people. Now, this is very location specific, because there are some locations that are more tech, that has more tech people than other locations. Now, it must not be a developer event. I know all of us want to go to DevFest because DevFest is the place to meet other developers. But like I said, don't limit yourself to the developer bubble. Go to events that you know you can meet people that are aspiring to be CEOs, right? People that are aspiring to be UI UX guys, people that are aspiring to be project managers and the rest. Find people in tech. As long as they're in tech, find them and meet them. Now, when you go to events, one of the best ways to connect is wear your merch. Represent yourself, like represent what you know. Now, one of the easiest ways to do that is like with this shirt. This is our merch. This is our Flutter shirt. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to leave a link to the merch in the description. So wear something like this. just show your skills, right? Just show, okay, I'm a developer, I'm a Flutter developer, I develop apps, right? Okay, I'm a React developer, I develop website. Okay, I'm a UI UX person, I do UI or something. Just meet them. Just show something that just screams, okay, I am this thing, and go around the event as much as possible. Sometimes just stand up and just walk out of the event. Just walk out of the event and come back. Just do as if you want to go and ease yourself or something. Let as many people as possible see you. Now, what are you trying to do? You're trying to see people that you're trying to even introduce yourself before opening your mouth, right? So because I'm wearing a Flutter shirt, it means that I'm a Flutter developer or I know Flutter. So if there's a developer in the congregation, in the event, that sees me, it's easy for him to come and approach me. So you're a Flutter developer. Hi, I'm a React developer or something like that. Or somebody just be like, okay, I've been hearing this Flutter thing up and down. What's it? Okay, it's this. I know how this particular shirt, I know how much it has helped me connect with so many people. So move around, meet as many people as possible. Introduce yourself. First, introduce yourself with your merch. So I call it silent introduction. So people just see you and then just know that you know these things, and then even when you don't have the confidence to go and meet them, or you may not even notice them to even meet them, they will meet you. And go forth and then talk to as many people as possible. Introduce yourself, introduce what you do, and get their contact, right? Just get their contact. You may may say, okay, I don't know what to tell them. Yes, just view each other's titles. collect your contact, view each other's titles, and that's all. So introduce yourself as much as possible. Then the next place to connect with people is through project that you work on. Now, usually I know people like to limit work relationship to work, right? So you just okay, we're working on a project, I'm doing front end, the guy is doing back end, and I have no problem. I don't want to connect with him beyond front end and back end stuff. So okay, every conversation that we have is, okay, I need this endpoint to work, or this endpoint is not working. Okay, then that's just our conversation. It's a very bad thing to do. Connect with your coworkers as much as possible. When you build a relationship with them, and when they get to put it in their mind, because it's all about minding, right? Make sure that you're among the first 3 people that they remember whenever something is mentioned, whenever your stack or your expertise is mentioned. Make sure you're among the 3 people that it comes to their head. And how do you do that? By building a relationship with them. So if you're working on a project and there's a back-end guy and you're the front-end guy, find a way of talking to them beyond just about work things. Find a way of having a conversation with them. Because if I'm doing front-end, the other guy is doing back-end, if tomorrow he gets a back-end job and he's asked, how far? We need a front-end guy. You could be the one that he will recommend. But by the time that you just limit your relationship to just work relationship, if tomorrow he's working on a project or he's working on a company and then they're looking for someone they're looking for someone in your role, he's not going to recommend you because he doesn't have a relationship with you. Yes, people work in the same company together, but he doesn't have a relationship with you. So co-workers and people that you work on the same project with are very good resource to build a network with. And that said, just do as much job as possible. Yes, that's what I would say. Do as much job as possible because that will help you build that network, right? So even if a project is giving a stipend, right? But you know that it's not only you that's working on the project. Me, I would advise, if you are free and you have time, jump on that project, meet those guys and connect with them, build a relationship with them, and then build a network. So just keep building. So I hope you find this useful. The next one that we'll be talking about is social media. Now we've talking about how you can meet people that you're already connected to. So social media will talk about how you can reach people that are not connected to you. Okay, so see you in the next one.